Hey, Lost Woods Survival here. Today I'm going to talk about my common man bushcrafting kit. I see a lot of these people who bushcraft, they carry around like $100 knife and things like that. And me being a common man, I just don't have the cash to go out and buy a $100 knife and then pay another 50 to have a custom sheath made for it. So I decided to go out and try to make this as cheap as possible for myself to have a ready kit for when I'm bushcrafting, something that could be relied upon. So I went out and did a little bit of researching, and I decided myself to buy a old hickory knife. A lot of people overlook these right here. They think of them as just kitchen knives, but these are very handy little knives to have in the woods. They're not very thick, like most of the bushcraft knives are. I'd say it's about average, like a Mora knife. Very close to that thickness. The handles are made of wood, which I prefer wood over plastics. I just don't like plastics on my knives. The blade's high carbon steel. I think it's 1095, I believe. The spine is very crisp. It's very sharp. You can use this on your ferrocenium rods to get sparks. But people they overlook it because they believe it's more or less just for the kitchen. But I've had this one for about 6 years. I've used it from everything from cleaning deer to cutting cordage, preparing food, cutting up steaks, cleaning fish. And I mean, there's not that much wear and tear on it. There's a nice patina on it from the aging process, of course. But then I decided, well, I need a sheath. So I went out and I was walking around the yard and I found a broken piece of PVC. So I decided to make a sheath out of PVC. Just to see how long it would last. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos on it. So I decided to go ahead and make my own. This piece here, I believe it was about a foot long or so. Maybe a little bit longer. And I made this big long clip here. Basically, so that way I'd be able to hook it on anything if I wanted to. From molly gear, the webbing, to a very large belt. I could hook it in my pockets. I could hook it over my shirt. Have it almost like a neck knife. But then I decided I want to add on a little bit extra to it, make it a little bit more functional, make it a little bit more something that you'd want to carry. So I decided to go out into Walmart and buy a cheap little magnesium fire starter. I believe it was like $3.50 for it. It's got the ferrocenium rod, it's got the magnesium you shave off to make a fire. There's plenty of YouTube videos you can watch on that. But then I decided, well, I need a way to attach it to the sheath, so I went through the woods. I saw a bicycle that someone had abandoned there, ripped the tires off, took the inner tube out, and decided to make some Ranger bands. So I cut them up, and I used them to restrain the magnesium fire block to the sheath itself. And then I decided, well, I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting, so I went out and I got another little piece of PVC. I cut it in half, and I used it as a wraparound for fishing line. And then I threw some little hooks in there. I think I put a little bit of plastic in there to keep the hooks from rusting. And I threw a sinker in there. So now, pretty much my everyday common man carry, which was, I believe, less than $15 altogether. It was $11.95 or something like that for this knife. The PVC was free. Inner tubes were free. Magnesium fire starter was $3.50 or so. Hooks, line, and sinker were, I believe if you were to divide it up in total cost for each piece, it's most likely less than $1. So $15, I have a knife and a sheath that has several different items I could use for survival. That's a whole lot better than going out and paying $150 for a knife, which I just can't see myself ever doing, unless it's something I really wanted. But, yeah, you can't go out, of course, and baton 100 trees that are all 6 inches thick in half with this knife. It's not designed for that. Knives are designed to cut, and that's basically all I use it for. I use it for my cutting jobs. That's it. I'm, the right tool for the right job kind of person. So if I want to cut something bigger than that, I break out my little fast hawk here. My SOG. A lot of people overlook this too. They believe, a $20 tomahawk just can't do what a $100 tomahawk does. Well, it's not meant to. It's an entry-level tomahawk. It's for the common man, the person who can't go out and spend half a paycheck on a tomahawk. Now, if you have that kind of money, good for you. I'm not that person. I'm sorry. But basically, I paid, I believe, $20 for this tomahawk. It was around Christmas time. So I went out and I got some more cordage. And I decided to wrap the handle, make it a little bit more grippy. That way I can go in and, if I need to, do some little detailed jobs with the head of the tomahawk. But what I really like about these little cheap tomahawks is you got a blade. I think the blade's 2.5 inches. You also got hammers, or hammer faces, I'm sorry. And you also got a breeching tool, or a pry bar of some sort. So, I mean, this tomahawk takes the place of, 3 tools. Possibly, if you wanted to carry 3 tools. I don't like the fact that it has the plastic polymer handle. I don't like that. I wish it was wood. But, I can't go out and buy one that costs more than $45 at a time. I mean, I can't spend that much money. So I decided to make this work, and it works very well. A lot of people overlook the cheap things because they're cheap. They believe, everything's got to be high dollar. Of course, the only downside of this tomahawk is that it's made of cheap metal, and the sheath itself is just awful. They give you a tiny little belt loop for a big ass belt that most of us wear is a big ass belt for bushcrafting. So I decided myself to fix that once more. I went and got a metal hanger that I got from a uniform store of some sort. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like 10 cents for the whole entire hanger. And I went out and I cut a little section out about this long, about 6 inches or so. And I folded it in half, and then I put a U in it and bent hooks into the metal. So now this right here fits comfortably over a belt. It can go into your waistband if need be. It can go onto a webbing of some sort, like your Molly webbing, your Alice packs. You can put this on the back of it. And it sits fine, because the way it was designed was that the tomahawk had to be up against you. And it just doesn't allow for the freedom of movement that I prefer with a tomahawk. But this entire setup, for me, you can go out and you can do what you want. You might want to go out and paint the PVC, which I did not. I chose to leave it bare. After all, I tried to make this as cheap as possible. I used a little campfire and a pair of vice grips and a board. And I flattened everything down. I made it thinner. You see where the vice grip bit into it while I was making it. I'm not trying to make a super awesome setup. This is a very common man setup. This is less than $50. This is less than $35 altogether for a kit that will let you do things that you want to do. Of course, it's not. You can't sustain yourself for a year with these items. They're not that good. But for someone who wants to get into bushcrafting, someone who wants to be in the woods and have fun, be free, this is more than usable. This is pretty much an entry-level setup for something like that. And I'm not covering, all the other items I carry right now. We'll do that in a later video. But this is my basic blade carry. I also have, several other little items like I carry with these, which I don't have right now in the video. I also carry a sharpening stone, a little 3.5 inch sharpening stone. I think I paid $4 for that at I think Tractor Supply. I carry that too. Usually that's inside of a separate container to keep it from beating on everything and breaking in half. I was going to put it on the back of this, but when I did, it just made it a little bit too thick. And it made it extremely bottom heavy. And it was pulling down constantly. I had to take it off. It didn't feel right. But this is my basic common man setup that I use. Later on, if I had the money, I might go ahead and buy $100 knife and have it. Most likely I will make a PVC sheath for it. I love these PVC sheaths. I got a few more that I made for some other knives. They're extremely durable and cheap. I mean, that piece of PVC I found was, I think, almost 4 feet long. And you know, this is laying there. No one wanted it. They threw it away. So now I have 4 or 5 sheaths that I made for free, with the cost of me making a fire, getting some vice grips and a board, and flattening stuff out and taking up my time. Basically the only thing I did. But you know, that's what bushcrafting's for, making something out of nothing. And that's exactly what I did. I took someone else's trash and I made a sheath that works perfectly to what I want it to. And you got the Ranger bands a little bit longer to hold the knife in, to make it super hard to get out. Well, not super hard. I mean, it won't fall out if you go for a nice little brisk jog in the woods for some reason while carrying your knife and tomahawk. You know, no judgment there if you want to do that. But, you know, the tomahawk, nice and secure. I mean, that, when you hook this on your belt, it's not coming off. But anyways, yeah, I just want to do a little short video on something that a lot of people I know have found to be very intriguing, very cool. Something they themselves are going to go out and try because they don't have the cash to do it like most people do. But yeah, I mean, everyday man carry for the common man. Come on, you can't beat $15 for a knife and sheath. You can't do it. But anyways, this is going to be the end of the video. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you can, please subscribe. If you don't want to, you know, it's your choice there. I can't force you to do something. But just remember, you know, enjoy what you have. If you have an old hickory, go out and enjoy bushcrafting. Do something. Be free. Go out in the woods and enjoy yourself. You know, support your rights as a human being. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. If you want to go out in the woods with a cheap knife and build a shelter, do it. Don't let people who criticize you, oh, you don't have a $100 knife, you can't bushcraft. Don't listen to them people. Do what you love and love what you do. If you can only afford to spend $15, do it. Go out and do it. Enjoy yourself. Like me, you know, this is a hobby. This is not a way of life that I can put $10,000 into per year and just do what I want. You know, you work every day. Maybe you only got the weekends off. You got $15 in your pocket. You're like, well, I need me a knife. Old hickory knife. Bam. You got a piece of PVC. Bam, you got a sheath. Old tire off of a bicycle with the air tube still in it. Bam, you got Ranger bands. There's tons of things you can do for bushcrafting that won't cost you $300 in one day buying just gear. You know, go out and enjoy yourself.